Welcome back to In the Ring with Termite and Mr. S. And we've got a great story for you today.
We got Craig Stilley with us today, come all the way from Orange, Texas. So we're looking forward to hearing his story. And
It's a good one.
It's a real good story. So why don't we just jump right into it? Craig, introduce yourself. I know you're involved in several different things, different businesses. I know you got a book coming out, even working on a movie.
He's got a movie. He's got a book. He's got a, you're going to have us pulling you back and forth because this man's got a story.
So we could go for hours and hours, but so we don't do that. Maybe we'll just try to reel it in. So tell us a little bit about some of the things you're working on these days.
Well, I own a commercial paint contracting company, and I'm building an RV park.
What's the name of that company?
Stilley Enterprises.
Stilley Enterprises.
Yeah. And so I'm building an RV park, and I'm writing a book about my life dealing with anxiety disorders and depression, and my overcoming things and boxing. And I'm also made a movie. You know, I'm trying to make a movie. Mm-hmm. You know,
in the process, and
it's the process.
It takes a while. It's a process. We tell everybody it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon on making a movie.
Yeah, because you know people ask all the time, well, how far is your movie? I'm like, it takes a little time. You know, it don't happen overnight.
So, Craig, let's go back to the boxing for a second. Mm-hmm. That's what I love to hear is how you got started. Tell me how you got started.
Well, like I say, I had my first dealings with anxiety when I was younger, but at 16 it hit me again, and so I was trying to find something that would keep me motivated and positive, you know. So I got into boxing, and I started out doing backyard fights and everything, and then my teacher, happened to introduce me to his uncle, Dick Menchaca.
A great man, great friend of mine.
Yeah, so I had the privilege of working underneath him and sort of boxing and sparring with his pros and everything, fought in the amateurs, and had the opportunity to train underneath Kenny Weldon for a little bit.
Another great one.
Yeah, can't beat them. And so when I got through with that, I started training fighters and putting on amateur bouts and sort of working with pros and, you know, moved on from there.
I'm going to go back to the Kenny Weldon. You know that he was always known that he had the ring that Muhammad Ali fought in 1966 at the Astrodome. And before Kenny passed away, he gave me all of his stuff. He gave me that ring. You can come to Fighter Nation, which is part of the Termite Watkins Charitable Foundation, and Mr. S is the chair of. And anyway, we'd love to invite you by Fighter Nation so you can have a great time there. But today is about you. You said you were 16 or 15?
I was 16.
You were 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And his story is about overcoming anxiety. Mm-hmm. There's so many people that have that today. It's incredible. And one of the things that I know about that is that a lot of people go to drugs. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's a real common over-the-counter drug that I'm trying to think of right now that people get addicted to. Mm-hmm. And I'll think of it in just a second. But there's other ways that you can overcome this without going into drugs. Right. So tell us what you did.
Well, it was a tremendous struggle. It's not your typical anxiety. It was much deeper. But I fought through it. I knew that drugs was the wrong way, mm-hmm. and fortunately, I was able to get help, you know, from a psychiatrist and everything, which I think's huge. Mm-hmm. You know, is to be able to get help, and so I've been going to a psychiatrist for years, 31 years dealing with it, you know, and got on the proper medication and everything, and it was trial and error, you know, getting on the medication till it finally helped, and just perseverance. You know, but drugs is not the answer. Actually, that makes it worse. Yeah. You know?
So you got knocked down, but the perseverance is what kept you in the game.
Right.
And so if you're out there today, you know, our whole story is about people getting knocked down, you know, in the ring of life. And in the ring of life, you're going to get knocked down sometime, but you got up. Mm-hmm. And it's something that we've talked about all the time is perseverance. You got to persevere. Don't be a quitter because you never know when the next thing you try might be the thing that is your rocket ship that takes you off to great things. So coming back, what are you doing today?
Well, like I said, I'm writing my book about it. That's one way of trying to take what I've been through and suffering to help others. to know that there's hope and there's help out there, and that you do get better, and also be able to express what I've been through, and the movie is a little clippet of my life. That I think is going to be very interesting. It's got to do with boxing, but it's not typically a Roxy boxing show. It's more of the insides of boxing, and building an RV park, for investments and everything, and steadily trying to help people. I believe it's helping others is the biggest thing.
And we know you've been blessed to work with some big names. Tell us about some of the folks you've worked with.
Brag a little bit.
Brag a little bit. It's okay.
Throw some big names around. We want to hear them.
One of my best friends, Evander Holyfield, and I have a chance. It's been such an honor, and I actually turned my life to the Lord because of Evander Holyfield in '96, and we've got to be best of friends. And Sugar Ray Leonard, just a tremendous amount of Jesse James Leha. I can't name them all, just a bunch of people.
Tim Hallmark.
Tim Hallmark. God, dog, Tim Hallmark. I mean, that's my spiritual mentor right there. I couldn't, none of this I believe would have happened without Tim Hallmark.
Well, Tim Hallmark is a great one. For those of you that don't know him, he was the brains behind Evander on the strength and conditioning. He's built some machinery. The red,
you got your gym.
Mr. S at the gym. We've got those red benches.
Yep.
That's from Tim
he's got
Hallmark.
his center force.
Center force,
Center force is excellent. It's proven to work. He's got scientific data on the center force and his other equipment. It's just remarkable, the equipment he's designed and done. But Tim's such a great guy. I mean, he's helped me so much spiritually and pretty much in what I've gotten to the point now, with the people that I know, he's really been a blessing to me.
Yeah.
How much would you link spiritual and physical? I mean, I know we got to be strong spiritually, but I think taking care of yourself physically is about the most important thing you can do as well.
Yeah, physically, I work out, but I don't do it so much the byproduct is you look good, but mainly it's to feel good. It helps me mentally to fight.
Strong.
It's
the temple of God. The Bible tells us to take care of the temple of God, our body. And so I admire you because, as you can tell, I've not been doing that.
No. You look good, right?
And but I want to go back to Tim Hallmark for a second. Tim Hallmark is one of my best friends. And a lot of you know that I had the coronavirus and I was sick and on the ventilator for 18 days. Well, Tim Hallmark and Dennis Rogers, one night, I said, I want you to join me in prayer and be joined together with me and be in one accord. And I prayed to the Lord about a certain particular thing that I wanted to happen. And Tim and Dennis were the two that were with me when I prayed that prayer. And then the next day, within a matter of a couple of days, I was on the ventilator. And I won't go into big detail, but sometimes you got to go through struggles. I was knocked down, and for 18 days on the ventilator, 30 days in the hospital, but I got up.
Right.
And going back to Tim and Dennis Rogers. Dennis was the strong man that used to be in all the hammers and horseshoes. You know him. But Tim Hallmark is a great friend and just a great man of God. So
and not just that, Tim's trained not just Evander, he's trained, Pernell Whitaker.
Yes.
He's worked with
Meldrick Taylor,
Mike McCallum, Vinny Panzienza. I mean, he's worked with, and also I think it was Alex Rodriguez. Is that who
Yes,
he's worked
yes.
with? You know, Mike
Baseball,
Phelps.
football.
Yeah.
Just
He's not just boxing. He's basically physical
he's
training.
phenomenal,
everything.
brilliant. So what was your next question?
My next question was, tell me more about you, because you've got such a fascinating story. And we know you could go on for hours and hours, but hit some of the high points.
Well, you know, I never really thought my story was just a struggle. You know, it was kind of something that I hid. You know, going through this disorder. You know, I go to a psychiatrist and people look at you boxing. You know, they never expect that. You know, and so as I started telling everyone about it, they started getting interested in it. We never knew that. You know, because be honest with you, I'd go do a backyard fight and knock somebody out and everything, and he's tough, and I'd go home and cry to my dad, say I'm losing my mind, you know, from anxiety.
Yeah.
And so it's what goes on behind the scenes people don't know about, you know.
How many fights did you have?
Well, in amateurs, I just fought a few of them because I trained so much with Dick Manchak and his pros that we you know, from Port Arthur, Texas, there wasn't any, back in the early 90s, there was no really amateur fights, you know.
That's right.
And so by the time I got to working with his pros and everything and working with Kenny Weldon, which was a distance, that's when I started training fighters.
Okay.
You know, and I found my love and passion in training fighters, you know.
Well, and he's done a great job with it. I love hearing your story. I'm so happy that you've been an overcomer, which is what our show is about, is overcoming.
Right.
Tell me some more about what you've overcome.
Well, I mean, it's basically everyday things, you know. I mean, I high school, you know, I didn't finish high school. I got my GED, and so, you know, I looked at that as a negative, but I started studying, reading everything I could, you know, and try to educate myself. And so, man, you name it. It seems like it's always been a fight, but through that, it's built my character. You know, it's taught me things.
It's who you are.
Yeah, and it's taught me, you know, to never quit. You know, that's one thing me and Evander always say is never quit. You know, and you never know when that time comes. You feel like I can't go on. Your opening is just right past that. So, you know, just you know, stay going forward.
And I really love helping, training, inspiring people in different ways. So you said you switched from, you know, boxing yourself to becoming a trainer.
Right.
And I guess tell us a little bit more what goes on inside, because I know with me, when I'm putting, you know, giving myself to someone to really try to help them be better, it's that same sort of chord. You know, you're seeing something in somebody else,
right,
and you're trying to bring that out.
Right. Because when I train fighters, you know, matter of fact, one of my fighters I trained and managed, and I want to give a congratulations to, is O'Shaquie Foster. He just won the WBC belt. February 11th. You know, he's the WBC champion of the world, and I had the honor of training and managing him at one point. And you know, Bobby Benton's his trainer.
Yeah.
Bobby Benton, Oceanique did a masterful job fighting, and Bobby Benton did a great job training him. But when you see a fighter, you know, it wasn't so much, I didn't look at the outer aspect of the fighter. You know, I didn't look at, he looks built and tough. I'd always see, did he have character? Does he have a determination? Because I can teach somebody how to do something, but I can't teach that will. You know what I mean? That inner strength.
You can't put that heart in.
You can't put that heart in them, you know? And so I'd always look at that. But my thing in training fighters wasn't so much to be, because I'm sure you know, Termite, if you get into boxing thinking I'm going to have a world champion, you're going to be kind of discouraged. Yeah. You know, I did it because I wanted to make a difference in the person's life.
Right.
You know, impart something in them about not, you know, because that's what boxing was to me. It taught me discipline, how to go that next round, how to struggle and keep going, you know, because boxing, you have all the emotions in the world when you're fighting, you know, fear. And so overcoming all that and not quitting. So I try to use that same philosophy, teaching them about life. And this is kind of what the segment about, you know, the ring of life.
Ring of life.
Yeah. And that's basically what boxing is, you know. And so I would try to teach them things that would help them in life, you know.
And how many, I mean, I can't say, I don't put numbers to it, but I'm sure it's satisfying to see, looking back on the different folks that where they were when they came to you, when they started.
Oh man, it's remarkable. I'll go to the store and I don't remember all the kids and people I've taught, and they'd come to me, you know, hey coach, and I don't recognize them. Say, you know, now I'm a something at a plant, you know, a chemical plant. I've done this and that, you know, that made me keep going and built my confidence up, you know. And it's so rewarding, hearing that.
Yeah, that alone, I mean, that makes you a success.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think success
You're changing
is,
people's lives.
Yeah, and success to me is the like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Success is what you consider a success, and to me, it's what you do for others and watching them succeed and building them up and changing their lives. To me, is a success.
I agree.
So
Not to take, that's a give. And
Yeah.
that's painful because I'm sure on the flip side, you've got folks in your life that you saw some potential in, or you poured yourself into them, and it probably did not end up very well. You probably some folks you come across that are not doing well, and that hurts just as bad.
And it does hurt. And and sometimes I'm sure Termite can agree with this, that you get a kid in there or somebody and you teach them and they're doing good, then they change their mind and don't want to come back to the gym. But I didn't care if the kids became champions. I would tell the parents sometimes, I say, look, because they just didn't have it in them. And I said, but that doesn't mean that they're not a good person. I mean, I can't play tennis, so boxing's not for everybody. But I said, as long as they come here, and they participate, stay off the street, and learn something.
That's right.
That's all that matters to me.
That's right.
I think that what I really love about your particular story is, we talk about getting knocked down and getting back up, whole ring of life. And you can view that as a single event. Like, hey, this happened in my life. I got knocked down. I pushed through it, and here I am today. Yours is an ongoing.
Yeah.
Every single day is about, you're dealing with a condition or whatever you want to term it as. So it's not like you got knocked down and you got back up and everything's great. Yours is every single day, in a sense, you're getting knocked down.
Yeah,
and you're having to get back.
Yeah, some
day.
days are better than others, a lot, and it's gotten better and better. But I've been knocked down several times in my life. But it's the getting back up, it's the pushing through it, and as you do that, the strength you gain, from it. And one thing I like people to know is when you suffer from these disorders, that there's hope, that there's help out there, and drugs is not the answer, alcohol is not the answer. Is getting hope, and getting the right help. But it's also that you're never going to maybe overcome it. Some people can. It just depends on how fast you catch it. But you might not ever overcome it, but you can manage it.
Right. That's a good term.
One of the quotes I love
you still beat it.
Yeah, the quote I made up is, what's stronger than fear is the mind that tames it.
Yeah.
And so it's overcoming. It's transcending beyond yourself and saying, well, and then when you do, it's saying, how can I help others that are struggling with this too? And it gives it meaning.
Right. And every day is a fight.
Every day. Oh yeah, every day is a. But everybody's everybody's got their thorn in their side. Everybody's got something that they're fighting with. And I look at everybody that's fighting is that people look at boxers and, oh man, they do this and that. But I say everybody's a fighter because we all have something we're dealing with. Whether it be anxiety, whatever.
I would like to say that, but I see a lot of people they give up.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see everyone be a fighter, but I think there's so many people that they give up. So that's the whole reason why we're talking about this.
Well, you can't
Don't
give up.
stop. Don't give up.
Yeah, because life, you're here one time, and you got to find your meaning in life, and you can find the meaning during suffering.
They have the old saying that winners never quit and quitters never win. That's such a true statement.
Simple.
True.
True.
Speaking of winners, Beaumont, Texas has got a lot of winners.
Mm-hmm.
They've had Bubba Bashimi.
Right.
Yeah, you've had
James Pips,
the Pips brothers.
Mike Phelps.
Scipion.
Wilford Scipion that fought Hagler.
Yeah.
Right. And also we've had Earl Thomas, football player, Kevin Smith that played for the Dallas Cowboys.
Janis Joplin.
ZZ Top.
ZZ Top.
Yeah,
wow, Beaumont.
Little town.
And Port Arthur.
Big things.
Big things. They got people that don't quit. We may just have to see if ZZ Top will come on here. And I'm serious about that. I think we can actually get him on
Why
here.
not?
Right.
And maybe we'll get Bubba Bashimi. He's had an incredible life. And then
Alexis Arguello.
Fought Alexis Arguello.
Yeah.
I hold it over him that I shouldn't say this, and I'm not going to say it. Bubba may come back and whip me. I love Bubba Bashimi. He's a great guy, great fighter. Yeah. And anyway, he was a great amateur. Mm-hmm. He was a great pro. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to find out what he's doing today.
I can find out.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's track him down. But you've also got what, Clay Walker, or who is it? The singer.
Well, you got Tracy Bird, Mark
Bird.
Chestnut.
A friend of ours right now is traveling. He's the guitar player for Tracy Bird right now from our
That's
church.
awesome.
Which Tracy, we could probably get him on here.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy,
Yeah.
Tracy Bird. Yeah.
Can you tell us more about your movie? When's it coming out? What's the name?
Well, again, it's in the process. You know, I have a producer and
Do you
everything.
have a target?
No, not yet, because I'm just getting the business plan made out. You know, again, it's a process. You know, getting the business plan made and you know, getting investors. That's the main thing. Getting the investors to invest in it. And I've got some, you know, that are willing to invest, but you know, that's the hurdle.
Yeah.
You know,
It
the
is.
big
It is.
hurdle.
Huge.
Well, tell folks how they can follow you. How can they contact you? Give us some
How
of your
they- how
social
can-
media. Yeah.
Well,
Where can we find you?
I'm on Facebook, Craig Stilley, and you can recognize my bald head. And my phone number is 409-313-2038, and my email cstillyenterprises@gmail.com.
If you got a lot of money out there and you want to back a movie, this is going to be a great one. And there may be investors, you know, that one of the things that Beaumont is great for is they put back into the people that have been successful there.
Right.
I know a lot
Still
of
that
people.
small town feel.
It's that small town.
Yeah.
So if you're from Beaumont, Texas, you want to get behind him, you heard his phone number, you heard how you can get in touch with him, let's support him.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much, Craig, for coming on.
sir.
Looking forward to seeing good things from you.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for coming on
Anytime,
In the Ring.
Yes, sir.
In the Ring of Life. And he's had an interesting life and it's going to continue to be. And we'd love to have you back.
Sure, I'd
and
love to
talk
come back.
about where you are
That'd be
Good.
exciting. Have
in
you
your
back on.
journey. Because life is a journey.
Right.
It's a journey.
Right.
It's not a sprint.
Awesome.
See y'all later.